is a skirmish, the back and forward, the sharking of the sharking of the pit bull, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough because the assault here is much actually not in a good spot to concave. However, on the opposite side, welcome to Kane's Wrath. I'm your host Korak, and today's map is Hampstead Gardens. This is the good to upper good league, number 9. Starting us off in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, wearing the orange robe, sporting the string gloves, we have ChaoSit. His opponent for the moment in the top right-hand corner of the map, wearing the green robe, sporting the GDI gloves, we have Gacius. Both fighters ready. Begin. The scouting has already begun. It looks like ChaoSit has killed the scouts over on the left-hand side with quite a large number of buzzers. I suspect that he's going to try to prevent Gacius from getting to this Tiberium spike, and I'm assuming the engineer has backed off. Yep, there he is. So that's exactly what has happened, but the APC is ready for Gacius immediately to push all the way over there. It does not look like any of the GDI forces were able to make it over to ChaoSit's side of the map. And everything is proceeding relatively normal except for the APC that Gacius had to build in order to fight the buzzer swarms on this side of the map. One buzzer swarm over on the right-hand side does manage to get taken out by Gacius. Gacius had some infantry inside one of the buildings over there, sort of barracked up. Reverse move for the APC, moving back, but sort of baiting the buzzers in so it can get that engineer to go ahead and move forward. It does look like the APC is going to work, and the transport is going to go off. Gacius is able to get his secondary Tiberium spike without too much of a delay. ChaoSit was able to slow him down just ever so slightly. It's not going to make a massive difference, but it will make a small difference and will grow as the game goes on. ChaoSit so far is doing a very good job of scouting his opponent. Gacius has yet to scout the Skrin faction. To scout ChaoSit as of right now. Both players are moving to their natural expansions. ChaoSit is just a little bit ahead of the ball than his opponent Gacius. All these small little differences will matter in the grand scheme of things. They all begin to add up ever so slightly, but that does not mean that one of these players can't turn it around. As in, they can't get a massive gain, whether it's in kills or taking out some sort of infrastructure. Gunwalker is going to start chasing the APCs. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of Gunwalker, a little bit of APC action here in a minute. Rifleman squads are going to get picked up by the APC relatively quickly. There they go. And this is going to be our first little stint of scouting for the APCs. Where Gacius goes with this could really matter. He could make his way all the way down here and take the garrison structure, which is what I would do. I guess he could also run away. No, he's actually just kind of choosing to lose that unit, it looks like. Couple more APCs with just Rocketmen, so Rocketmen APCs moving into the center of the map. So far, ChaoSit does not really have an answer to that. If these disintegrators can get close, they can do that, but I'm not sure that that is what these disintegrators are for, considering he doesn't know about the APCs until very much so right this moment. Gunwalker is going to get taken down by the APC rockets rather quickly. Oh, and it actually looks like we have some Seeker tanks over inside of the natural expansion for Gacius. I did not see those Seeker tanks sneak up in there. They're able to take out one Harvester, and the APC rockets have moved into ChaoSit's base at the exact same time. Able to take out, nope, not quite one Harvester, and one APC gets taken out in that engagement to begin with. Second Harvester going down in the top side of the map. These Seeker tanks have done very, very good at killing more and more of the line of their opponent. It looks like first Harvester may go down for ChaoSit over here in the south, but Gacius is just quite not able to land what he needs to land and kill what he needs to kill. He was able to delay the mining, but that's not going to be as good as the gains over here. And actually, we have a lightning spike I missed, taking out yet another Harvester. There's only one Harvester left over in Gacius's base. That's going to bite. ChaoSit is so far proving to be the dominant factor in the beginning part of this game. Gacius not doing too bad himself, but losing those harvesters, delaying that natural expand or getting his natural expansion delayed, all those little bitty things, like I said before, are going to add up. Gacius wanting to be a little bit more cautious, sets down some pillboxes over on the left-hand side so he can see when stuff starts to come his way. Also garrisoning some troops over in the left-hand side. He wants to make sure that he can see those assaults coming when they do. That way he's got plenty of time to prepare. Gacius moving into the center of the map. It does not look like, other than the one incursion that ChaoSit made into the natural expansion over there, it does not look like ChaoSit has ventured too much into the center. Gacius being a little bit more aggressive with that center control, although it is not gained him too much other than some minor harassment and some loss of harvesters. We do have some disintegrators moving over here, but they are going to get scouted by the pillboxes. I believe disintegrators can take out the units in the pillboxes, and it looks like those garrison troops by Gacius are starting to pay off. Pushing those disintegrators back is going to be good for him. Everybody's still continuing with their sharking phase of the game. APCs and gunwalkers are starting to dance, and here's our first set of orcas moving into ChaoSit's base. Gunwalkers now have their shield upgrades and are starting to move over to the main base of their opponents. Trying to figure out where those... Oh, they're there. It does look like we're actually gonna get some more harvesters taken out. We're getting a little bit of revenge over here. The Orca's able to tie up a couple more kills, grab almost 3 harvesters actually for just that small number, all while he's continuing this assault on the Reclamator hug. I'm not sure that these I'm not sure these gunwalkers are gonna be enough damage to stop that Marv from coming out, but they are going to do damage to it nonetheless. They're going to get pushed out by the Mammoth tank just as quickly as they arrive. Disintegrators are going to get taken out by the Hammerhead, but not before they're able to get a very, very good snack on Harvesters. Harvesters left and right just continue to go down for each opponent, and it looks like the first to move into their secondary natural expansion is ChaoSit. Gacius just a little bit behind, probably behind on resources, probably behind on a couple of those bits in economy, but he is sending more and more orcas out. These orcas have been able to do some damage. We might see some Storm Riders over here for the defense against some of these orcas, but that still remains to be seen. Orcas sharking around looking for their target, and it looks like they're going to try and support their Marv over here, who is in a rather precarious spot. There are a couple of Mammoth tanks over here to support the Marv, but it looks like they're going to get EMP just as quickly as they move into this engagement. That's extremely unfortunate for them. Marv is at half HP and has absolutely nothing inside it to begin the repairs. The Orcas and the Mammoth tanks are going to do a very good job of starting to clean this up, but that was way, way too close for comfort. One click comes out for ChaoSit, saving his last remaining tripod, one tripod, showing up to the fight just a little bit too late in order to help, and is probably going to get taken down rather quickly. What this means is that Gacius can now move into ChaoSit's natural expansion, and most importantly, he can run in Marv up a large number of this Tiberium to deny it from his opponent. He can get some small gains and deny it from his opponent. Plasma Battery is able to take out the Hammerhead, so that's going to be great for him. He doesn't have to worry about that Hammerhead quite anymore. There's the one click, there's the stasis field grabbing 2 Mammoth tanks and the Marv. If the Marv is not careful, it could actually get taken out here. There are 3 tripods and a couple of disintegrators here that can start moving their way in and start attacking each unit here as soon as this natural expansion goes down. Orcas are coming over here for the rescue. The cavalry is here, the flying cavalry is here, and that's what he needs to sort of push out these tripods. One tripod is almost down, and there he goes. He goes down just as quickly as he moves, and the second tripod getting taken out, and this Marv is still alive. There's no units in it, but no, oh no, the disintegrators do manage to take it out. That is a dead Marv, but that is not looking super great for Gacius. Gacius spent a lot on that Marv and was not able to get any gains. He was not able to take any of the Tiberium away from his opponent, and he still has not built into his natural expansion. ChaoSit has developed his natural expansion rather quite nicely and is moving slowly but steadily closer and closer to the map, probably going to try to do a little bit of a base race against his opponent. And actually it looks like one of the tripods is able to get grabbed by Gacius. That's going to be a little point in the bucket for him. A couple of reinforcements get called down in order to support these units, and it looks like we actually have one of these Mammoth tanks that got a little bit of rank on it, but it needs some healing before it can really do too too much. This is a lot of tripods for them to deal with. Sure, they can definitely put a dent in this, especially with the not the SOCOM troopers. What are they called? I was forget the names of the guys, the zone troopers. Especially with these zone troopers, they can do a good amount of damage, but between the disintegrators and all of these tripods, it's still going to be a lot to deal with. Mammotanks do fare rather nicely against tripods, but there are too many to be dealt with. There's just too much, especially with the shields up, and Gacius' forces are beginning to dwindle further and further. He's losing more and more units, and he still has not developed into his natural expansion. ChaoSit just seems to be absolutely on top of everything in this first match. And it looks like the Marv does get a sell-off, that canceling the building of the Marv itself for ChaoSit. So that is technically a second Marv that he has lost, even though it was not created just yet. That is going to slow him down, but he is going to be able to use some of the money somewhere else. But he really needs some Tiberium. He really needs some sort of resources in the bank. He needs to expand. I'm not sure why he has not. Maybe he all-inned and sold. No, there's his MCV. It's a little bit closer. He's just not moving it forward. Maybe he's dumping everything he can into these mammoth tanks to get ready for this assault. Probably not a bad idea, because if these tripods walk into the base, they're just going to destroy everything they can. Gacius not moving one of his mammoth tanks to support the others. He needs to start backing these up and regrouping them to deal what damage he can. He needs to start with the reverse move and move further in, but there goes another mammoth tank once again. Gacius seeing the writing on the wall, calling in the GG, giving that first round to ChaoSit. That was match number 1, Commander. I will see you in match number 2. Welcome to match 2, round 2 between ChaoSit and Gacius. This round is brought to you by Overthinkers Anonymous, where we think about thinking too much. Quick item of note, we have our player in green over in the top left-hand corner. He is playing GDI. That is Gacius. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have our orange player who is playing GDI as well. We have a mirror match. ChaoSit in the bottom right, Gacius in the top left, and it looks like both sets are starting with quite a substantial amount of rifleman squads. I would not be surprised if we get to see some early harassment as these rifleman squads begin to place down pillboxes. I think the most optimal way to do that is to have 2 build pillboxes, as in have 2 of the troops, so like these 4 up here, 2 of them to build pillboxes, and the others to just garrison in them, so there's 2 in each pillbox. But we'll get to see here in a second what the decision is going to be. I feel like that many pillboxes, 4 pillboxes, would be quite a lot, because really all they can do is harass this power plant and maybe annoy the construction yard. That is looking like what that's going to be the plan for ChaoSit. He's going to place down 4 pillboxes and just be an absolute pest inside of his opponent's base, but Gacius is actually going to do the same thing. Gacius is just going to split up his forces, some in the south and some in the north. I feel like that's sort of the better strategy for Gacius, or maybe these pillboxes should have got a little bit closer for ChaoSit, delaying those harvesters and hurting those harvesters just a little bit more. Marv trying to get a little bit of a squish on the forces of Gacius, but for the most part is just ignoring it while it moves on to its natural expansion. Both players are moving on to their natural expansion rather quickly and rather nicely. Only harassment so far is from these pillboxes. Pretty soon here, Gacius is going to be forced to spend some of his economy to repair that power plant. But we'll get to see that here in a second. First watchtower does get called down, and it is starting to take out the foxholes of his opponents, the foxhole of Gacius, and those pillboxes' days are all but numbered. They weren't able to find too much purchase pillbox-wise, and it looks like Gacius has forgotten to continue to re-attack a couple of these units. He does get a couple of shots off on the harvesters, but that's not going to matter too much. We get some pit bulls in the north and a watchtower for Gacius to start dealing with the 4 pillboxes of his opponent. That's going to be the end of those units rather quickly. However, he is in low power mode, but he was able to get a power plant just out as quickly. Pillboxes for Gacius are finally starting to fall down inside of ChaoSit's main base, and it looks like both players have developed extremely nicely into their natural expansions just about the same time. This is if I remember correctly, a 1 Tiberium spike map that does, yeah, it looks like just the 1 Tiberium spike per player over there. Pillboxes are still getting mopped up over inside ChaoSit's base, and about the same time, the pillboxes are getting mopped up inside Gacius's base as well. Gacius has a couple more not pillboxes, pit bulls than his opponent for the moment, but we'll get to see how much of an impact they have. Just because you outnumber your opponent, if you don't do anything with those numbers, then I mean they're relatively useless until you find some sort of purchase on them. Right now they're just sort of units, and it looks like we're gonna get a whole bunch of rocket squads in the north to sort of push these pit bulls off. ChaoSit knows that his opponent has a lot of pit bulls and that pit bulls cannot do very well against the missile squads. Very good call, very good placement of those missile squads. The not harvesters, I don't know why I keep wanting to not say the name correctly. The pit bulls for Gacius are sort of sharking around, but if they're not careful, they're actually going to get taken out by the pit bulls of Chaos at this mirror matchup. We're probably going to see a lot of similar units versus a lot of similar units. So far, ChaoSit has been a little bit more on top of it, but that is just a marginal difference in the game. One pit bull almost gets taken out. It looks like, there it goes. It looks like they take pit bull for pit bull. There goes one pit bull for another pit bull, but Gacius has the advantage because he is near his base, which means he's going to be able to get those pit bull reinforcements all the faster. Handful of rifleman squad are going to move a little bit into Gacius's base, but unfortunately not going to make it very far in, so they did not get the scout that they wanted. And it looks like we had a set of rifleman squad run all the way over to the north as well, getting a small amount of scouting for them. No player has been able to penetrate past their opponent. Unfortunately for ChaoSit, he actually loses a couple of... oh, no, he just loses the one pit bull. That is still going to be unfortunate for him. Every little bit of those pit bulls is going to matter. We're going to get our second skirmish over here, possibly in a second, but it doesn't look like Gacius is ready to concave. One pit bull almost getting taken out for free by Gacius for ChaoSit. That pit bull does have a rank up in it. It might be worth sending it back to get some repairs, but it does not look like he cares right now. Here is a skirmish, the back and forward, the sharking of the sharking of the pit bulls back and forward, and it looks like ChaoSit is losing this fight between all of the hammerheads and all of the pit bulls, where he's just absolutely losing. And there's the upgrade right there. There is the mortar for his opponent for Gacius. Gacius went immediately into that tech, and it's seeming to pay off for him. A tower gets put down to push the hammerheads out and take out all three hammerheads. All the hammerheads for Gacius are gone, but those pit bulls have been able to do a decent amount of damage to his opponent's pit bulls. At least they were not able to get any infrastructure, but they were able to whittle down the forces more and more of ChaoSit. And it looks like Gacius is, like I said before, a little bit more on top of things this time around. He's been much better at whittling down ChaoSit, while ChaoSit has been a little bit slower on the response. And it sounds like we got our first redeemer, not from ChaoSit, but from Gacius. Gacius so far, just like I said, a little bit ahead on everything. Same thing even with his secondary natural expansion. ChaoSit is not, nope, actually that's an airstrike. I thought those were more whatchamacallits coming their way, more orcas or hammerheads coming their way, but that does not appear the case. So the natural expansion for ChaoSit is going to be protected. But in the south, near the main base of ChaoSit, Gacius is beginning to build up his forces and is probably going to start poking around here for something to snack on, here for something to eat. Now we have more pitbull versus pitbull in our third skirmish over here, and it looks like the mortars have come out for both players. ChaoSit grabbing the mortars just as quickly. They both lose one pitbull for one pitbull. ChaoSit doing much better in that assault, or at least doing more neutral for, you know, what you might say. It looks like we actually have a second Marv out here for ChaoSit. Maybe he's trying to trick his opponent, or maybe he's trying to go for his opponent's natural expansion, since Gacius's Marv is over here in the north. The scout does get hit and sees that Gacius has taken 4 harvesters worth of Tiberium from his opponent and probably manages to catch that Marv. ChaoSit mirroring his opponent's move, sending a Marv and actually a base down to Gacius's natural expansion. Gacius is suspecting a fight, so he has placed down his sonic emitter. We'll get to see what sort of impact that has. If it manages to hit any of the pit bulls, it's going to do substantial damage. Pit bulls are still outnumbered here by ChaoSit. He can micro this really well if he's careful. He can catch a couple of these pit bulls off guard. That'll be super great. The MCV does get spotted. If he's not careful, he's going to lose it. There is the deployment of it. There is the Marv reinforcement, but it's not going to get deployed for free. There's going to be a little bit more damage on these pit bulls. Marv has all slots inside of it, including 2 engineer slots, as the Marv in the north continues to Marvis the Tiberian of his opponent's natural expansion. But ChaoSit's trying to go for tit for tat over here on this side of the map, and he's also got his first Juggernaut out here to start pestering the Marv. 2 Juggernauts to continue that pestering, and the assault has begun in the south. 1 Harvester's about to go down for Gacius. There it goes. It is taken down. He is getting a taste of his own medicine while a 1-click gets hit on the Space Command. Space Command get taken out just as quickly as it here, and there is the EMP on top of the Marv. This Marv is stuck in a really bad position and does not have a lot of support. Space Command for ChaoSit is out over on his forward base. Does look like we missed 1 Juggernaut getting taken out, but that Marv in the north is not looking super healthy. Speaking of not looking super healthy, the forces for ChaoSit are not looking real great either, and I'm not sure where there are the pitbulls for Gacius. They're going to go after these Juggernauts. Not a bad target. Supporting their Marv and killing these Juggernauts will definitely be a good distraction, because there's only so much that ChaoSit is going to be able to do here in the south. Sure, he's going to be able to start putting down some of these Sonic Emitters. Actually, I didn't realize his build range was quite that large, but Sonic Emitters are going to start taking out more and more of the Juggernauts of his opponents while he continues to Marvis the base of his opponent. But these Sonic Emitters are just doing all kinds of crazy damage, and it looks like the Sonic Emitter for ChaoSit is going to get ignored and take out a Juggernaut over there in the background. However, ChaoSit did lose his Marv and a whole bunch of forces, and is actually going to throw in the towel, making the score 1-1 with each player taking a point. I will see you in match number 3, Commander. Commander, this is the same thing, different map, different players. Match 3 on the map Extraction Plateau. Today's skirmish is sponsored by Murphy's Lawmakers, making sure everything that can go wrong will. Over here on the top right section of the map, wearing the purple robes and the GDI gloves, we have Rildcom. His opponent for the moment in the blue robe, sporting the marked of Kane gloves, we have AssassinSpy. Both fighters ready? Begin! We get to see a Marked of Kane versus GDI match. Not too many of these that I get to see for myself personally. I do love to see the shenanigans that Marked of Kane can get up, and I always love to see GDI at play. I am very much a GDI and GDI subfaction fanboy, so I'm always happy to see them on the field. I just love how their units look in general. A couple of pillboxes get placed down for Rildcom, but he abandons them almost immediately to move out somewhere else, as his opponent AssassinSpy moves a couple of Awakened and a couple of Rocket Squads into the natural expansion of his opponent, with only 1 APC to meet them. I suspect that their goal is going to be to EMP this MCV to delay the natural expansion of their opponent as much as they can. There are a couple of Awakened squads that can use their EMP, so that's probably going to be the case. There is 1 EMP down trying to get that APC, but they're not able to get it in time. Another EMP gets hit down, and that is a miss, but there is a hit right there on one of the EMPs as the Marv gets targeted, and if they're not careful, this Marv is actually going to get taken down by these Rocket Squads, but the APC is here to start taking down some of the Awakened and some of the units over here. And APC actually gets pushed out. I'm assuming we're going to see a Watchtower here any second. There's a power plant. There is the Watchtower to start taking out these Rocket Squads. Rocket Squad's finally going to die, and I'm assuming the Awakened is soon to follow. However, they're able to do a good amount of damage with just those few units to Rildcom. Rildcom is also a little bit delayed, and his MCV is not where he wants it. But Rildcom was able to get a pillbox inside of his opponent's Tiberian field to get some long-distance scouting, some long-term scouting. So that's going to be great for him, but not at the cost of the damage to his construction yard. His build radius is still pretty far, especially with this power plant here, and he's able to get his refinery out actually before his opponent, actually before AssassinSpy. So even though Rildcom took a good hit on the nose there, he's doing everything he can to recover, and that's what makes the difference in some of these higher level players, is even when they take some shots. Like, I've seen plenty of matches with Master Leaf where he takes a whole bunch of shots and then just keeps managing to come back with these like very clutch movements. He knows where to push and when to push and how to push. Even with just a small amount of units, he often uses these small little bitty tactics to weaken his opponents instead of having massive armies. Not that he won't end up with massive armies, but I've seen him do that more lately, or at least I've seen him get out of stuff with those small little pushes, having very few resources. Just look, the pillbox is here to stay, and the rocket squads were taking out, so there goes the scout for Rildcom, but Rildcom has continued. Actually, an assault over here on the north. There's a couple of bike buggy versus APC and Pitbull. 2 bikes get taken down, 1 APC gets taken down, while these rifleman squads move forward and get taken out by the buggy. This seems to be our next transition of Pitbulls and APCs versus bike and buggy. This is pretty normal for Nod versus GDI. GDI has the advantage in firepower, but Nod seems to have the advantage in speed. And there goes 1 Pitbull down almost, or actually completely for free for these bike and buddies. That was a good snack for them to grab. If they can keep those up, if AssassinSpy can keep those up, he can continue to whittle down Rildcom and take him out over and over. I still think that he is a little bit ahead with that delay and with those kills. If he can keep maintaining that pressure, he will do rather well in this match. I don't believe we have gotten Tib Core rockets just yet. If I could click on these, there they go. Yeah, so no Tib Core rockets just yet. That might be a little bit too early for him. Does look like AssassinSpy is trying to get a little bit of a scout inside his opponent's main base. And we actually have a airfield out for Rildcom over next to his MCV that has not been scouted. So AssassinSpy only has so much time to head his way over there and see that coming. But these Pitbulls are going to do everything they can to push it out. And I'm assuming we're going to get we're gonna get some hammerheads. I thought we were gonna get some orcas instead. It does look like GDI is going for hammerheads. Other than the rockets, I'm not sure there's too much air defense for his opponent. However, he can build SAMs when and where he needs it. But right now, AssassinSpy still does not know his opponent has an airfield, so he can use that to his advantage. There's only going to be a small window in which he can do that. He's going to figure out he has an airfield now as these units move in and begin to start a bombardment, probably on the refinery. There it is. They're able to get some pretty good shots off on the harvesters and almost take it out. There is the one click. The decoy army has come out for all of these bike and buggies, increasing their numbers, soaking up some of the shots of these Pitbulls. And the Pitbulls are actually not in a good spot to concave. However, on the opposite side, AssassinSpy is concaving extremely well. All of his units are firing at the exact same time. Let's see if that makes a difference. These Pitbulls sort of went in one at a time, at least in the beginning. There was a tip of the spear and going from there, but it's still too early to tell. Unit after unit gets absolutely smashed over here. It looks like Rildcom is the loser of this. A good number of forces were taken out, but Rildcom lost even more in that fight. The duplicate army and the fact that his units were not concave, were not all firing at the same time and kind of went in a bad spot, definitely lost him the fight. And if he's not careful, he's going to lose even more units. He's trying the best he can to regroup with more and more of these Pitbulls, but he has not regrouped them super well. More Pitbulls have gone in sort of by themselves in a bad position. They are focusing on these rockets, which is what they should focus on. If they can take out the rockets, then these buggies are nothing but easy pickings afterwards. And the hammerheads can move in afterwards and start taking up some of the damage. The buggies can deal damage to the hammerheads, but it's nowhere near as much as the bikes. But I guess if there is a lot of them, they can take out the hammerheads, as we saw right there. We also get a self-tank over here by AssassinSpy. AssassinSpy is not letting up the pressure whatsoever. He's just going to keep assaulting his opponent, even though he mainly has buggies. These buggies can deal a good chunk of damage. Self-tank does get spotted, and a couple of shots happen to it, but Rildcom loses 3 Pitbulls for it, and is probably going to lose his natural expansion here any moment. More and more watchtowers are popped out here by Rildcom, but Rildcom is just not able to keep up with all of the units here, and it's non-stop. More and more reinforcements are here, more and more, and now we actually have Tib Core rockets on the attack bike. This is not looking good for Rildcom. AssassinSpy is doing an amazing job just maintaining this pressure. He is just staying here and continuing to reinforce over and over. He's just doing a phenomenal job of attacking Rildcom, and there is the GG. That is match number 3 going to AssassinSpy. I will see you in match number 4, Commander. Welcome to match 4, round 2 between AssassinSpy and Rildcom. We are on the map Toxicity. This clash is powered by Awkward Silence Soundtrack, because sometimes no words are the best words. Quick item of note, Rildcom is in the top right, still maintaining the purple, still maintaining the GDI, while his opponent is in the top left, switching to Steel Talons this time around and actually doing something a little bit sneaky over here. He's got a Surveyor out already, and I think he's going to try to make it into Rildcom's base. That is definitely extra sneaky. I don't get to see that too much, so I'm excited to see what sort of mayhem that will brew in this map. Looks like we have 2 Tiberium spikes for each player to begin with. That's going to be a good amount of resources for each one of them pumping. That's probably why AssassinSpy feels like he can get this Surveyor out where he needs to. I'm assuming he's going to slap a pillbox out in front of it to give it just a little bit more protection and make his opponent think that, oh, hey, I'm just, you know, setting up the super annoying pillbox strategy that you normally see. And that does appear to be the case. And it doesn't look like the Surveyor has been scouted out for the moment. Rildcom moving into one of the bases in the south, while this Surveyor still continues to get set up. This, I'm just moving into an outpost, continues to get set up in the main base of Rildcom. This could be a quick game if not dealt with. However, if AssassinSpy overcommits on this, he can lose a lot of resource. This is still a tiny bit of a gamble, but nothing too massive. Looks like the answer is going to be some barracks. He's going to start slapping out maybe some rocket squads. Yep, that's what I would do. Put the rocket squads inside of the pillbox and start harassing those harvesters. It'll make them all the harder to take out. And if a watchtower does pop out, and actually we're going to get a Guardian Cannon. He is going all into this. Actually, we're going 3 rockets instead. 1 harvester's almost going to get taken out. That's a full Tiberian's worth of a harvester, but it does manage to get saved here just in the end as the pillbox begins to attack it over on the other side of that expansion. And the most important part of all of this is those harvesters are going to be scared to move in and start that expansion. However, Rildcom is still on top of it. He can take out these rocket squads here in a minute if he just has just a little bit more time, but he's building up more and more rocket squads, and he has a couple of these Guardian Cannons. Right now, Rildcom is in a rather decent spot, at least as far as this goes. He could have crumbled much quicker, but he did not. But he doesn't have an answer to these Guardian Cannons. Another pillbox does try to get placed out, but it gets sniped just as quickly as they start building, leaving only 1 unit left and almost no HP. Guardian Cannons doing a phenomenal job against the Pitbulls. Rocket Squad's moving up to start taking out one of the harvesters. If they can get that full Tiberium worth of harvester, that'll make this assault all the more worth it. 4 Predator tanks here are finally enough to take out that first Guardian Cannon, but the back and forward of the missile squads are going to continue. Watchtower for his opponent, Watchtower for Rildcom's going to get popped out, and I don't normally get to see these base assaults right here, and this is absolutely fantastic to see. 1 pillbox does get placed down over here for the blue faction for AssassinSpy. AssassinSpy just being an absolute pest, setting up inside of his opponent's base, setting down more and more of these Guardian Cannons to start dealing with the harvesters, start dealing with the Predator tanks of his opponents, while the answer for the opposite side is going to be Watchtowers, which keep getting taken out left and right by rocket squads and are defended by pillboxes. More and more Watchtowers, more and more Guardian Cannons, and more rockets. Does look like the advantage is a little bit inside of Rildcom's favor still, but he is still delayed. He hasn't given up completely on his harvesting, and he hasn't moved to his natural expansion, while his opponent over here has able to do that, but he's had bigger, more pressing matters on his hand with this early aggression. There's the sell-off of the outpost, and it looks like this assault may be over in the north, but that may have bought just enough time for AssassinSpy to gain himself a little bit of a lead. That does appear to be the case. It does look like Rildcom lost a harvester or 2. I'm not sure if a second one was able to get taken out, but most importantly, he hasn't moved into his natural expansion, while AssassinSpy has absolutely done it. AssassinSpy has had no damage dealt to his main base. We may get a change of that here in a little bit with these Predator tanks, but he's been uncontested since that assault was happening inside of Rildcom's base. So I'm going to imagine here that AssassinSpy is just a little bit up on economy, but I don't have any way to confirm that. Unfortunately, I don't have a fancy overlay like some of the other casters to see who has what and when. That would be nice to get my hands on, but I'll have to play that by ear to figure out how to get my hands on one of those guys. Pitbulls, or not pitbulls, pillboxes, words are hard. Pillboxes / foxholes are going to get placed down into the natural expansion of Rildcom. AssassinSpy just not done being a pest. AssassinSpy is just going to continue annoying his opponent and delaying his opponent as much as they can. And these pillboxes are actually doing a fairly decent job at taking out the rocket squads and a couple other things. And they're also going to get some free shots on their opponents, but Rildcom is not going to sit idly by. He's able to take out at least one harvester over here as his predator tanks move in and start disrupting the build line of his opponents, start disrupting the harvesters, but they're going to get taken down just as quickly. If they have just a little bit more time, they might be able to get one of these harvesters taken out. There is only one predator tank. The Tiberium silo comes out as a body block, and it looks like it's going to be just barely enough. This predator tank is going to try to keep sharking around looking for its target, but it's going to get taken out rather unceremoniously. It does look like Rildcom was able to clear up a couple of the pillboxes in the south, and most importantly save his Tiberium spike, so that's good on his end for the moment. And it doesn't look like oh, we actually got some orcas over here to finish the job on that harvester. That's extremely unfortunate. I didn't even see the air field for his opponent. For those of you who don't know, there's actually rockets on top of these harvesters, but that is 2 orcas going to take out 2 harvesters. There are the gains that Rildcom needs, and he's actually going to take out another harvester over here in the south rather quickly. He's going to lose 3 orcas in total for them, but that's an orca per harvester. That's looking super great for him. He was able to make a little bit of a comeback over here. Even though AssassinSpy has been extremely aggressive, Rildcom has been very good in his response. A lesser player definitely would have crumbled, and it actually looks like we're getting orca strikes for both players left and right. Orca strike hits the refinery over there and not killing the harvester. Orca strike hits the refinery on the opposite side, almost killing this harvester, but just not enough to do it. Reinforcements for AssassinSpy are going to happen here in the center. They're going to come with at least 1 veterancy rank, while the pillbox for AssassinSpy gets cleared out in the center by these pitbulls. Rildcom finally starting to build up a little bit more of a military. He's got some APCs, he's got some man spam, and he's got some predator tanks mixed in with and for his pitbulls. The ranked up APCs and pitbulls are going to move in and start taking out another set of these APCs and try to get as many kills as they possibly can, but they're in sort of a bad spot. I feel like this is a throwaway of some of the units, unless the idea was just to get a little bit of scout. APC does level up for that, and 4 units go down for AssassinSpy. AssassinSpy starting to get slowly whittled down bit by bit over and over. Orca trying the best it can to take out this rocket harvester that has half a load of Tiberium, but oh, it looks, I'm not sure what took it out there. Maybe it was the predator tank. Maybe their range is a little bit longer than I thought, but there goes half a Tiberium's worth of a harvester while the other one gets pushed back, and it looks like Rildcom has turned into the aggressor this time around, but his opponent has moved over to these Zocom orcas and is starting to harass, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough because the assault here is much stronger by Rildcom. Rildcom moving in a large number of these predator tanks. His opponent does pop out a predator tank, but it gets killed just as quickly as it gets spawned. There is the sonic emitter. Sonic emitter gets a very good shot off on a good number of the predator tanks and continues it over and over, but it's probably going to get taken out here in any moment now. I'm assuming the war factory is probably going to follow. Nope, that is not the case. We are getting a Reclamator hub here for AssassinSpy. AssassinSpy trying to get a Marv out, which is halfway done, and Rildcom seeing that is going to try to take it out. If he can take that out, that's going to be super great for him. No Marv for his opponent, and denying that, it's going to be super great. There it is. There's the deny, and now we're going to start focusing on the harvesters. Things are looking great for AssassinSpy. Rildcom has really turned this around. Sure, Rildcom is losing a couple of forces, but with the forces that he has lost, he's able to get a lot of gains and delay his opponent, taking out several harvesters, taking out that Marv, just doing crazy amounts of damage. And it's not done. There are more reinforcements over here by Rildcom. This assault is continuing. Things are looking extremely grim for AssassinSpy. AssassinSpy does not have an answer to any of this. He's going to lose so much infrastructure. He's going to lose so many units, and it's just not looking great for him whatsoever. These rocket harvesters aren't going to help much at all. The infrastructure is all but dead for AssassinSpy. The fat lady has not sung, but she may as well have. This is Rildcom's game. There is the GG. There is the end of this small little bite into the good versus upper good League number 9. Thank you for tuning in, Commander. I have been your host, Korak. Transmission out.